Hi there, everybody. Welcome to another album review. My name is Christian Eschbach.
Hey everyone. So this one I had to do a little research on because I actually was a little bit thrown off and confused by this one. Sharon Jones and the Dap-Kings. Give the people what they want. The only reason I knew that this was a modern album or a new album was due to the fact that it had a .com. And by new, I mean, at least released since like 1995. um, this album is actually released in 2014. The sound on this album, very soul, very Motown. I actually really got into this one. My go-to is like saying the Supremes or Diana Ross. Um, a lot of the other names that aren't coming to my head at the moment. Unfortunately, you think I remember these names. Um, but that idea, like that really Motowny soul kind of vibe going on, and there are some elements in here, like when I look online, it says like soul and funk. There are some elements in here that definitely made me think funk, but not funk, kind of like funk light. It's still soul to me, like a heavier soul, but even then, it's not really. This is just like soul and Motown. This is good stuff too. I'm gonna be completely honest. This album threw me through for a loop. This would have been like, well, this was obviously before, I remember Amy Winehouse breaking out and getting popular. I do know that the band, the Dap-Kings, later worked with Amy Winehouse from the research I saw online. And clearly, they just got that kind of vibe. It was, what is it, the Back in Rehab or Back in Blackout or Back from Black or whatever the hell that album. I don't know. I'm not an Amy Winehouse person. Um, this was really good though, really, really good. Real quick, I'm just gonna give you the song list. You got Retreat, which opens up the album. Really good, strong open up to the album. Really, I love this song, man. It really gets it going good. Stranger to My Happiness is another one that's really good as well. Really has a great vibe to it. We Get Along is the first song that I honestly just kind of on. You'll Be Lonely, another one that I thought was really good. Now I See wasn't bad. Making Up and Breaking Up, and Making Up and Breaking Up over again. This one was kind of fun. This one's got one of the most traditional with the multi-track on the vocals going on, where it really kind of has that Supremes thing with making up and breaking up and making up and breaking up all over again. And it's just, it could have been even a dude band. It could have been the Temptations or, the Four Seasons or whatever doing it, and it still would have worked. It's got that great multi-layered vocal going on that just beautiful, even though it's just Sharon herself, which is cool. Great use of multi-tracking. Get Up and Get Out, I don't mind while the album's playing. Not gonna really think about it much when the album's not playing. Long Time, Wrong Time, another one where I really enjoy it when the album's playing, but when the album's not playing, I don't think of it so much. People don't get what they deserve. This particular one really made me think of the Commitments soundtrack, which I've covered both Volume One and Volume Two of it. One of my all-time favorite movies, and I think that my love for that movie is one of the reasons I love this so much, because I could take that entire soundtrack out, put this into that soundtrack, and it would still sound perfect. Like it's just that great, that fantastic, that right on. I gotta say, like, if they were, please do not do this. But if they were to do a sequel all these years later to the Commitments, and they were to add new songs in there, definitely got to pull off of here. I'd have to say they'd have to pull from Amy Winehouse and from Adele as well, to be fair. Plus, there's probably a couple other good bands in there they could pull from too. All right. But people don't get what they deserve, man. This one really had this great vibe and energy to it. I just really loved. And then Slow Down Love, it finishes off the album decently enough. I probably would have actually put People Don't Get What They Deserve as the last song on the album myself. The whole way around, I was kind of sad to find out that Sharon Jones died in 2016. So I guess this was the last album, which means I'm gonna have to go backwards. Like everything for her catalog gonna be prequel for me now. Um, Definitely skilled set of vocals. Sorry. If I go by the picture in the back here, maybe looking at this picture on the back, maybe there are three ladies there, so maybe it wasn't multi-tracking. Maybe it was actual proper vocal layering, which is fantastic. Multi vocals going at the same time, harmonizing. Love when that happens. Love great harmonies. Um, Nice, simple. Nothing special, really. You got some cool pictures on the inside here of the band, stuff like that. I don't show these too often. I don't get into the books too often. A lot of CDs don't do good books anymore. I like this just because you get to see all the different musicians, and I really like the diversity of this group of musicians. Really, and black woman on vocals is just fantastic, man. There's very few white women on vocals I will take over a black woman on vocals. Very few. Just something about a black woman's voice is just spectacular, and Sharon Jones's voice is just fantastic on here. I I don't, the other thing I want to talk about on this album too, while I think about the production on it. It says another Bosco Man production, so I'm assuming Bosco Man was the producer of this album. And one thing I really have to say about this is the sound on it. I don't know how they recorded this album, but it really sounds vintage. Like it's got that true vintage sound to it where it sounds like it was cut by, the pictures would have you believe differently, but it was all cut by, a group of people. You'd have the vocalists in their little vocal room, and then the rest of the band kind of all playing together in the other room. And with got their cans on and all that stuff, and they're doing their thing. And you get that certain sound that you get off of vintage vinyl or even off cassette. Actually, this really, actually, when I was listening to it, back in like the 80s and 90s, you used to be able to get Motown Gold cassettes. And that's what this reminded me of. It was listening to a Motown Gold cassette specifically. It just had that high fidelity kind of hiss going on in it. Which I thought was kind of interesting that they added that in there to the sound, especially on a compact disc. Like really, this was a real interesting experience, and I highly recommend it if you can find this album. So we're talking about Sharon Jones and the Dap-Kings. Give the people what they want. If you can find this album, you should pick it up. And I saw that it won or was at least nominated for Grammy of the Year for R&B. Maybe I should have been nominated just in general for Album of the Year, man, because this is really, really good. Really good. Anyways, folks, my thoughts, my views, my opinions, let me know what you think down below. If you listen to Sharon Jones and you got some album suggestions for me, what should be the next album I should go to for Sharon Jones? Because I have no clue. I enjoyed this, but I don't know where to go to next. Let me know down below, please and thank you. Also, please and thank you. Hit the like button, the subscribe button, the bell for notifications. There's a couple links down below that you really should check out. Otherwise, folks, peace, love, take care.